Hi sisters! We are in the month of September now, and a new month means a new newsletter and a new monthly video from the Relief Society Presidency. So we're excited this month to bring this video to you. We as a presidency are going to be sharing some ideas of ways that we can make your life a little easier, specifically in the meal department. So, COVID and then summertime and just kind of all the unusual, crazy things that have been happening the past few months have maybe thrown meal time and meals for your family kind of into whack. I know, at least for my family, we definitely have just kind of been eating whatever, whenever. We're just happy to have our stomachs full, and there hasn't been a lot of order to it. So we're ready to get back on track now. The school is starting up, and so today our presidency is going to share some ideas with you. So I'll be sharing specifically some ideas on meal planning, and Markie will be sharing some ideas on how to cook with what you already have. And then Demas is going to be sharing some fun ways that you can cook meals around the world, kind of like a dinner around the world, just to spice things up a little bit for mealtime. So with that, here we go. Okay, to start off, I have a few questions for you. So question number 1. Do you enjoy mealtime? Question number 2, what is the hardest part of getting food on the table for you and your family? Number 3, do you have a hard time keeping within a budget for food each month? And question number 4 is, do you find yourself eating out more than maybe you would like to be eating out? So if you answered yes to any of those questions, hopefully some of the things that we shared today will be helpful for you. I'm excited to show some ways with you all that you can easily plan meals. It doesn't have to be extravagant or intimidating. It can be really easy and simple, and I'm sure that many of you already have a good system in place. Maybe meal planning is like your thing. So if you have any great things that you do or any tips or tricks, we would love to hear your ideas as well. We're all about sharing ideas with each other as sisters, right? So that we can all better one another and help each other out. And so if you have any ideas that you do that you love, let us know. But today I'm going to share a few things that I have done that I found work really good and maybe can help you out too. So first off, what is the benefit of meal planning? Why go to the work and the effort of meal planning? Because it does take a little bit of effort. And this is kind of what I came up with. So 4 reasons that I feel like meal planning is important. So number 1 is you can eat a variety of foods. And depending on what your dietary restrictions are or what your dietary needs are, you can plan that in and eat a variety of things. I love that. And focus on nutritional things as well. Get your kids trying new things. So that's number 1. Number 2, I feel like you can end up saving so much money if you plan out your meals rather than just run into the grocery store for every little thing that you need or eating out all the time. Number 3, it will give you kind of a direction and a plan so you can schedule your week, you can schedule your life, you can plan out your day, you kind of know what to expect. I like to have things planned, and so it's really helpful for me in that regard. And then the 4th thing is, I think meal planning is awesome because you can get your family involved. You can get your kids involved, your grandkids involved, if they're over, your spouse involved, and it can become a family thing as well. So, a couple years ago, I had the opportunity to meet a lady named Liz Edmonds. Some of you guys might know her as the food nanny. She is a hoot. She is probably like the loudest and happiest and sweetest, most like passionate about food person I think I've ever met. She's so fun, but I think she had a cooking show on BYU TV like years and years ago. Anyways, she's so awesome and she's so kind, and her daughter now are kind of like revamping this food nanny idea, and they're great. But the thing that I love about her and meeting her and cooking with her was that she is all about planning out your meals and having meals as a family whenever possible, and how that can be such a benefit to our families, especially in today's world. And she has some great ideas for planning meals. So I'm just going to share a little clip of her and her daughter. So the mom's Liz, the daughter's Lizzie. They're kind of crazy and wild, but they're super fun. And you can listen to this little clip of what they say about meal planning and how important it is.
But we also want you to know that probably, well, it was for me the most fulfilling thing that I ever did while raising all of those kids, those 7 children, was putting a consistent dinner time on the table. And why? It was because once you got the dinner on the table and everybody was looking each other in the eye and eating something good and hot, I don't know, it just brought our family together and we bonded.
Yeah.
And that was on a daily basis. And I think that's why it was the most fulfilling thing I ever did, because I took the time to meal plan and I took the time to put nutritional meals on the table, not gourmet meals, just super easy, some of them a little bit harder. It's okay if some take more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, some really yummy meals take more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's okay too.
Sometimes you honestly get what you put in, you know, but I agree, there's so many different people still feel like dinner time is such a hard part. She raised her kids so many years ago, but the still challenges of meal planning and dinner time, it still is the same. It hasn't changed. And so that's where I'm like, Mom, your message never ever dies. And this is why everybody needs to learn how to do it, because it's going to help simplify your life. And it will be rewarding, and you will see it in your kids, in your family. And for me to take away from my childhood, it's something I still remember. And that's why I want to do it for my family.
Aren't they just crazy and loud and fun? And I just love them. I think they're just really fun to follow along with. But more than anything, I just love their philosophy on meal planning and how it can, you know, benefit your family, and how it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really simple and easy. So I'm going to share with you a few steps. So I have like 6 steps of what I do in regards to planning meals, and kind of just like a basic guide of where to start. There's a lot of stuff out there of how to do it the right way, and I don't think there is a right way. This is just an easy way you can get started if meal planning is intimidating, or maybe you're out of the habit and you need to get back in. Here's some ways that you can kind of do that. So also, little note, when I meal plan, I usually do for about 1 week at a time, but you can do 2 weeks at a time. You can do the whole month at a time, whatever is best for you and your schedule and your life. I usually do 1 week at a time. So here are 6 steps of what you can do to easily plan a meal for your family each week. Okay, number 1 is to check your calendar. So my husband and I usually sit down every Sunday night and we do weekly planning, and for us that works out great. We kind of talk about our schedules, what we know is coming up, and it gets us on the same page. And for me, it helps me know what I need to plan for the week. So if we have like a late soccer practice one night, I'm obviously not going to be in the kitchen like cooking some fancy thing from scratch. That's going to be like a mac and cheese night, or like that might be the night that we eat out for the week or something like that. So sit down together. I have a planner. Whatever you use to plan your life, maybe you do it on your phone or Google Calendars or something. But I always sit down and look at my calendar and say, okay, what's going on this week? What do I need to prepare for, and know what night's going to be a leftover night, or what night I have time to actually be home and cook something. Okay, step 2 is take inventory, and Markie's actually going to talk a little bit more about this, but I will look through my fridge, my pantry, my freezer, kind of see what meat or what produce or what canned goods I already have on hand, and then that helps me kind of decide what I want to pick to cook each day. Okay, step number 3 is to choose what to actually cook. So this is where the internet can come in handy. So, you know, there's Pinterest and all kinds of different food people out there that have great recipes, or cookbooks that you have on your shelf. So deciding what to have for each night, what to actually serve or to cook, or if you're gonna do leftovers or eating out. There are different ideas out there, and I think this is really fun. I actually kind of use this. I've gotten out of the habit, but I want to get back in, of doing a theme night each night of the week. So for example, Monday would be like comfort foods. Tuesday would be Mexican night, so like Taco Tuesday kind of a thing. Wednesday might be like meatless, or like breakfast for dinner. Thursday could be Italian night. Friday, pizza night. Saturday, grill. Sunday, like family recipes, or there's a bunch of different, you can kind of choose your own theme based on what your family likes. And then, you know, every Tuesday it's like, oh, what should I cook for dinner? Oh, it's Mexican night, so some type of Mexican dish. Or, you know, Thursday, ooh, it's Italian night, some kind of Italian dish. So it kind of gives you like a framework of where to start from, because sometimes that can be kind of overwhelming to know like what to even pick, and how do you get a variety of things and not just eat the same meals over and over and over. Or you could eat the same meals over and over, and it could kind of keep in that theme. So that's a way that you can kind of jumpstart deciding what you're going to actually cook. But there's lots of resources out there, or call a friend or family member and ask them for some good recipes. Our Relief Society, our Cambria girls group me. I know people have asked for recipes there, so there's lots of places that you can look for to get recipes. Okay, step number 4 is to write out your meal plan. So I'm gonna actually I'm gonna flip my camera 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna show you, like I said, this is my planner and I write in it every week. So as I plan what's going on in my life, I also have the section here at the bottom for where I write in meals. You can see I've started for this week, but I will sit down on Sunday night and actually plan them all out. Another thing that you can do is there are tons of these on the internet where you kind of just pick your weekly plan, print it off, put it in a binder, or just stick it on your fridge or something, and you can write in what you're doing. And then there's also a place you can do grocery list. Or I have this fun little thing. I use this each week. It's just like a dry erase. I found it in the dollar bins at Target a couple years ago. And so I'll just write in what my meals are, and it's got a magnet on the back, and I just stick it on my fridge. And so then I always know what we're eating for each day of the week. So somehow, whatever works good for you, writing down what your meals are going to be so you know what you're doing, so you have a plan. Okay, number 5 is to create your grocery list, and number 6 is to go and get your groceries. So if you are an in-store shopper, that's great. If you are a grocery pickup's not quite as crazy as it was there for a while. So there's lots of options there too. But once you have your meals, you can curate what you need to cook the meals, and then you can go actually get the meals and then go from there. Something that I want to note is you absolutely can get your kids and your family involved in this process. So if you have kids that are old enough to cook, like older, maybe teenage age kids, or even like older elementary, assign them a night of the week. You could say this is your every Monday night or your every Wednesday night, and let them get involved in the process of picking what to eat that night, and figuring out what the ingredients would be, and then cooking it and cleaning it and all of the things. You could get your spouse involved in it, or say, okay, Wednesday nights are your nights, Thursday nights are my nights, so you don't have to do all of the work yourself. You can totally make it a family thing. And I feel like it's good for kids. My kids are pretty little still, but they like to help me cook, and it just helps make them capable. It teaches them skills that they're gonna have to learn eventually. So get them involved and make them a part of the meal planning process. So that's a little more quality family time together too. But let them be a part of it as well to kind of ease the load for you. Hopefully this gave you some ideas of ways that you can plan meals, and planning meals will help you get dinner on the table for your family. It will help you eat a variety of foods and not just be eating all the same things. It can help you balance out what you're eating, and it will help you save money in the long run as you stay within a budget. Purchase only the things that you need for your meals. It's just great. It's a great way to simplify. Although maybe it seems like some more work in the beginning, it totally simplifies things and makes your day a lot less stressful when it comes to that dinner time hour. Something also to note is it doesn't have to be super fancy. You don't have to make these nice, fancy meals from scratch every night. Feel free to do that if you want, but go ahead and just put PB&J sandwiches on your meal plan for the week. That is totally fine. You do whatever works best for you, but having that plan, knowing what you're doing, is going to save you time and money, and ultimately it's just going to simplify your life.
Okay, so Megan already talked to you guys about making a meal plan, and so now it's my turn. I get to kind of talk to you about making the most of your groceries. And if you ever have seen any of Jordan Page's videos, she talks about doing shelf cooking. Some people might just call it using what you have first, is pretty much what it is. So I am just going to kind of show you how to do that really quick, and talk about some of the things with that. So this is going to be a kind of weird video, super up close when I'm talking, and I'm going to kind of flip back and forth here with my screen, hopefully, so that I can show you exactly how I do all of that. I started out by going into my big freezer that I keep in my laundry room, and writing down the things that I have in that freezer that I might want to use this week to make something out of that are inside that freezer. So we're going to start right here in this freezer, and I'm just going to kind of look and see what I have that I could use this week or that I need to use this week. I've got a partial bag of tater tots right here, so I'm probably going to use that for something. The rest of that's kind of jam. I've got some frozen zucchini, some frozen fruit, and then I've got a bag of Monterey cheese in the back and some butter. If you didn't know, cheese freezes great, butter freezes great. You can freeze your milk, you can freeze bread, and you can use all of those things out of your freezer. I always like to try and keep cheese and butter in my freezer just for the times that I don't have time to go to the store or something. I've got another bag of tater tots right here. I've got some chicken nuggets, it looks like, some more fruit, some more cheese back here. And then down here, I've got a bag of pasta and vegetable mix. Got some frozen corn and peas and broccoli back there. And some Otter Pops, which are useless, and fruit and hash browns, but those are breakfast. That's another thing not to forget when you're doing your menu planning. Make account for what you're going to want to eat for breakfast and what you're going to want to eat for your lunches. Because if you figure that out, that's just another way to save money. So I've got milk. Probably want to buy 1 more gallon for the week. Juice. Probably need a little bit more juice too for breakfast. We usually don't drink juice every morning, but we do drink juice on Saturday and Sunday morning usually. A full thing of cream. This shelf right here kind of just ends up being a lot of my breakfast stuff. So I've got eggs, got 1 bagel left, which I'm sure someone will eat, and cream cheese, jam, 2 yogurts, and some cottage cheese. So those will get used up for breakfast probably. Then I've got some sliced cheese, a little bit of ham, so those will go for lunches, some Parmesan cheese, some more Monterey Jack cheese, tortillas, and these have been in here for a little bit, so I'm probably going to want to try and use that for something this week. And then I've got a couple of packages of hot dogs that I bought on sale a couple weeks ago. I've got some leftover chicken from dinner the other night, so I'm going to try and do something with that. And some leftover mac and cheese that will just end up getting used for a lunch. That's all just snacks. And then I really need to buy some produce because I am really low on that. Looks like I've got 2 tomatoes and about half of a red pepper that can get used for something. So I'm going to start out with those things first when I'm making my menu plan so that I can make sure I'm not wasting anything and that all of those things that need to get used get used. So I'm going to write all of that on my list, and then I move over here to my pantry, and there I've got all of my cans, which it looks like I could use more corn and more olives, so I'm probably going to start trying to watch for that to be on sale. My kids love to just put things everywhere. I could use more fruit. It looks like I don't really have a lot of peaches right now. Usually I have peaches right here, so I'm going to be watching for that to be on sale. But I do have plenty of tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, that kind of thing. I have a whole package of tortillas, corn tortillas that didn't get used for a meal a couple weeks ago, or a week ago probably, like planned, so I want to use those. I've got some tortilla chips, some leftover tostada shells that I could use, rice, lots of pasta. Looks like I've got 2 things of lasagna noodles, so I'll probably try and use those this week as well. So you're just going to kind of go through, write down what you have in here, some potatoes and a couple onions. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all of those things on my list. All right, so now I have my list all ready to go of all the things that I have. Obviously, you know some of the things that you have on hand or that are in your freezer, so you're not gonna wanna go down and say, I have mayonnaise, I have ketchup, because that just takes way too long. But if you are out, you do wanna make note of that so you can start watching sales. You want to check flyers every week. The front and the back are going to be what typically has like the best deals on it. The inside, a lot of it just kind of is to fill it up. But you will find things in the middle sometimes. So I kind of flip through there fast, but I do like to focus on the front and the back. That's going to tell you about your produce and about your meat. And those are really great things to catch on sale. So I'm going to look through my list now of what I have, and kind of as I'm writing this stuff down, I can kind of notice the different things that I've got. So I noticed that I had some leftover chicken in my fridge from a dinner the other night. I've got cheese, and I've got the tortillas that were in my fridge. So for Monday, for tonight, I'm going to write down that we are going to have some quesadillas, and I'll probably use the bag of corn chips that were in my pantry too, and we'll have some chips and salsa with it. So I know that I've used those things up now, so I'm going to go ahead and cross them off the list because I've already used them and I can't use them for something else now. Another thing that I noticed was that I had a bunch of lasagna noodles, I had cream cheese, and I have Italian sausage and plenty of tomato sauce. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to turn it into some lasagna roll-ups. I'm going to brown my sausage, there we go, my sausage, and then I'm going to mix it in with a brick of cream cheese. I'm going to roll it up in my cooked lasagna noodles and put some tomato sauce over the top with some mozzarella cheese on top of that. Cook it in the oven real quick for a few minutes. I say a few, like 20 minutes. And you've got some yummy lasagna roll-ups. Quick and easy, delicious. I probably do want like a salad to go with that. So that is something that I'm out of. So when I make my list here, I am going to, when I make my list, I like to do it on two sides. I write what I have over here, then I write the days of the week. I'm only planning through Thursday because we are going out of town after that. And then a spot for breakfast, a spot for lunches where I can write down some ideas for that. And then it looks like I've got some ground beef, and I have those tortillas that I found, the corn tortillas in my pantry. So I'm gonna take those, I'm gonna turn them into some tacos on Wednesday night, probably serve some corn with it, maybe some Mexican rice, since I did have a package of that in my pantry. I had some stew meat, so maybe on Thursday I'll take that stew meat and I'll sprinkle it with some salt and pepper, put in a little bit of flour, and brown it up in my pot or in my pan with some oil, and serve that with baked potatoes and maybe some of that frozen corn. Maybe I'll steam the corn and serve that together. So the possibilities are endless. You have so many different options. This week was a really good week for me. I was able to look through here and see a lot of different things that I have, and I can pick out a few other things that I can make even with just this stuff. I've got fish fillets, and I know that I've got some fish seasoning and fish fry in the pantry. So I could take that, I can make some fish and serve it with some tater tots and some of those frozen vegetables that I have, and you have a dinner quick and easy just like that. Some people don't like to try and come up with dinners, or don't try and like to like make things. They like to have that recipe, which is totally fine. If that's the case, then they actually have websites for that. If you have never tried them out, it's kind of fun. There's myfridgefood.com and I think the other one's supercook.com. You can go on and you can select which ingredients that you have, and then you hit the search and it's going to go through and it's going to take the ingredients that you have and it's going to find you recipes that you can make with those ingredients that you have or with minimal other ingredients. So that's a good way to do that and to be able to use up the things that you have, because that is really going to save you a ton of money if you're not just going through and making a full new menu every single week off of just, well, I would like this and I would like this and I would like this. And that's great if you can do that and that's what you want to do. But it will save you a ton of money if you go through and you take inventory and you cook with what you have first, and if you shop the sales. I also like to try and buy at least 2 of whatever I'm buying if it's on sale. So if I find barbecue sauce and it's on sale, then instead of buying 1 bottle, I'll buy 2 bottles and I'll put one in my fridge and we'll use it, and we'll have the other bottle in the pantry for the next time. And that kind of gives me a chance to watch for those sales and just purchase things when they're actually on sale rather than just buying and buying and buying. So if you stick to your budget and you cook with what you have first, you can save a lot of money that way, and your grocery list usually ends up being really small, and you can use that budget in turn to stock up on a lot of things. So with my family, I usually spend about $150 a week for groceries because there's 6 of us, and that's kind of what I break it down to. So this week, I know I'm going to need salad, I'm going to need some bread, and probably some tomatoes and other stuff for the salad. But then that's obviously not going to cost me $150. So I can use that extra money to purchase other things that I want to stock up on. If I look at the Safeway flyer and I see this, and this is on sale this week, I can go buy 2 or 3 of those, and I'm going to have them on stock for the next time I do this. So really fun, really great way to kind of like mix it up with what you're cooking and save money at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and turn the time over to Demas now, and she's going to share with you a really fun idea about how you can mix it up and make dinner time a little bit more exciting for your family.
Hi guys, it's Demas. This is my daughter Rebecca, and we're going to film her making a dish tonight that is from Colombia, and I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm going to let her do it.
Well, I don't either. I think it's bandeja paisa. So I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to show you the picture of what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so we are on My Colombian Recipes, and this is what it's called. I don't know if I said that correctly. We've got beans and rice. The rice is underneath the fried egg, which I have already prepared. We happened to make rice yesterday, and since I knew I was making this today, I just doubled it. And then we always have beans around because we lived in Brazil for so long. So I always have frozen beans in my fridge, and I already have some. So today, this is chorizo, these are plantains, and this is shredded beef, which is called carne en polvo, which is literally just like pulverized beef, I think, which I have done some of the prep work already. Okay, we're back again. This is the beef that's cooked, and she's going to shred it now in her food processor. And that is my sweet little granddaughter, Emily.
Say hi.
No. Nope, she's not
She
in
has
the mood.
no pants on, so.
Anyway, but this was boiled earlier in garlic and water, and then you're supposed to let it cool. And so now I'm gonna chop it up and pulverize it.
Okay.
So.
And I'll probably turn off
the video when she does that because it'll be very noisy. So, and a little bit of an explanation here. She has 7 kids, 6 boys, and then little Emily here. And they do like a mission call every week. And they go to a different country, and then they study the geography and the people and the culture. And one of the things that they do is cook a meal. She has food from that country or state the whole week. So that's why this is a Colombian meal. And
Columbia this week.
because we're in Colombia.
And I'll show you. So, I don't know if you can see this, but it really, one of the reasons we started this, well, first of all, we wanted our kids to be able to be comfortable no matter where they were, not just in mission, but in life, and to recognize that there's good everywhere and that people are pretty much the same everywhere you go. So I have this Google sheet with all my recipes linked here, and I've got the stuff here. So, you know, as you can see, I mean, I've got like Christmas here, but there's like Columbia, Connecticut, Crockpot, Delaware, Denmark. I've got England, Finland, Florida, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, India, Iowa, Italy, Japan. And so that way when we draw the mission call, I just open my Google Sheets and I've got the menu plan for that week.
Isn't she efficient? It's kind of disgusting.
And it really is because I'm really lazy and I don't want to come up with a menu plan every week.
So you did it
this
all
is
ahead
way-
of time, is what you did.
We've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, you have, that's true.
And for the first couple of years, I didn't keep my recipes. And so every week, as we've been doing it, I was like, this is dumb, I need to write down my recipes. And so then I was trying to do this elaborate, like, Word document that was not fun or
Not
efficient.
fun.
And I'm like, this is dumb. So we're all about using technology and Excel sheets. Our whole life is
Yeah,
Excel.
spreadsheets, there you go.
So anyway,
Cool.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
shut this up.
I'm going to turn this off and we'll be back in a minute. And here is the meat, all pulverized and shredded.
It looks like cat food.
Looks like cat food.
But, and I'm just gonna put it back in the pot so we can heat it up right before dinner.
Okay.
Just doing my meal prep.
Oh, so it is supposed to be heated up?
Yeah.
Even though it said to cool it out, down?
Well,
Okay.
just so that you could shred it.
Right, gotcha, okay.
So I've made this a couple times. I was just telling my mom that if a recipe that doesn't go over too hot, then I'll erase it from my Google sheet, and so there's some holes in there because they didn't go over too
Didn't
well.
go
But
over, yeah.
if it's still there, that means that last time we liked it. So we must have liked it.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, we're back on again. She's just cooking the chorizo, but she taught me something really cool about plantains.
So plantains are, they look like bananas, but they are not bananas. They are plantains. They're just really, really starchy. You have to cook them first. Like, you're not allowed to not. I mean, you can't eat them without cooking them first. You have to release the starch. It's like a potato.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. I thought, why does anybody eat this? It tastes terrible. But she says if you cook them first, they're really good.
Especially in like honey and cinnamon,
And there's her beans,
which are not heated up,
which
which is
are,
why they look kind of gray.
they're kind of glumped there, but she makes beans all the time because they lived in Brazil, and she makes beans and rice. So she keeps like a supply of frozen beans already done, and they're delicious. Should probably have you tell them how you do beans too.
Pressure cooker. I know you can can them. A lot of people can them.
Yeah.
But that's too much work for me.
On a little side note, this is my grandson Isaac,
Hello.
which is one of Becky's sons.
He's a great.
And he is making family evening treat tonight. He's making blondies. And because they lived in Brazil for 5 years and there are no instant mixes, there's no brownie mix, there's no cake mix, everything is made from scratch. So Isaac learned how to make everything from scratch, and he just disappeared. I think he went into the pantry. Okay, in the meantime, I'm trying not to do this too fast. Here's the chorizo cooking, and
I'm trying to keep it in tube form because that's the way they do it.
yeah, she's trying to, it is, when it comes out of the package, it's like ground beef, but she's trying to keep it in tubes. So.
We'll see.
And that's Isaac behind me making all the noise.
I think he's doing butter.
I think you're melting butter, yeah, aren't you? I'm trying not to whip around too fast. There he is.
Hello.
My handsome Isaac.
Yeah, you know it.
You know it, yeah. And the butter's melting. Okay, I'm going to turn it off again. We're back, and I asked her, on a side note, to show you guys how she makes rice. She lived in Brazil for 5 years, and they have this really cool trick. If you don't have a rice cooker, this is the good way to learn how to make rice.
Which, I don't have a rice cooker, and I never use minute rice. This is just always the way I do it. So I don't know if you can come over. So I'm not really doing it fully. You're supposed to boil the water first, and then once the water is boiling, then you put in the rice. And the way to get perfect rice every time is you start your spoon here, and you want it to just graze the top. So I actually would need just a little bit more water. Because you want it to just graze.
So you pull the spoon across,
Yeah, so you like
and the
settle
rice
it,
should
and it should just hit the top,
hit the top of the water.
in the middle of it. And
Okay.
that's when you have the right amount of rice. And then once it's boiling, I put in just a little thing of oil. I mean, not much, and a little bit of salt and garlic, and that's it.
Okay, and trust me guys, her rice is yummy and perfect every time. Okay, now we are cutting the plantains. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Mm-hmm. Okay. And Isaac's there in the background. I'm turning this so it fills the screen, but now I'm cutting off Becky's head. That's okay, she says. So I'm tilting it now. And you're gonna fry these? Is that correct? And what do you fry that in?
Oil.
Just oil?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I'll drizzle them with honey and cinnamon, because that's the way I like them.
Oh.
But
Well, no wonder your kids like them. Okay. Because I've eaten a plantain and it was gross. But I don't think it was cooked and had honey and stuff on it.
they just eat them. I mean, the blog I was reading, they'll eat them any way possible. I mean, this is one of their staple things, I think, or it seems like it. Anybody who's actually served a mission in Colombia or lived there or is Colombian would perhaps take
Would
issue
know
with what
more.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they traditionally they'll just fry it in oil. and
Fry
eat
them
it.
up and eat them.
Almost like a chip. Like a potato
Wow.
Boy, they really are, she has to
Use a knife that doesn't peel like a banana. Okay, she is frying the plantains. And I don't think there's any trick to this.
Yep.
Just fry them. Ooh, you all right? Yeah. And then when they're done, Becky, you put honey
I
and...
drain them and just kind of drizzle them a little bit.
Okay. And then the chorizo is done, and the beans are done, and the rice is done, so you're just gonna fry an egg and put everything together. Yep. Okay,
And
then.
slice an avocado.
Oh, there was two. There was an avocado on that plate. Okay. All right, then we are done. Ladies, if you want the recipe, text me.
No, I'll just link it.
Oh, Becky's gonna link it because she knows how to do that. All right, cool. Talk to you later. See you later. Bye.
And the finished product. Pretty darn close.
Mom, look.